Let me talk to you for a moment, because this right here can change the direction of your life if you hear it the right way. The biggest mistake you can make when a man contacts you is giving him access before he earns it. See, when a man reaches out, whether it's a text, a call, a DM, what he's really doing is testing. He's testing your availability. He's testing your boundaries. He's testing how easy it is to get your time, your attention, your emotions. And too many people fail that test without even knowing it. You answer too fast. You explain too much. You start adjusting your schedule. You start proving your worth to someone who hasn't shown you anything yet. And that's where it goes wrong. A man values what he has to work for, not because he's cruel, but because effort creates respect. When you treat his attention like a gift instead of a request, you teach him that you don't value yourself. And once that lesson is learned, it's almost impossible to undo. Let me say this clearly: interest without intention is a distraction. A man can contact you every day and still have no plan for you. He can say the right words and still be going nowhere. Consistency without commitment means nothing. And if you confuse attention with action, you will end up emotionally investing in someone who was never building anything with you. When a man contacts you, the first thing you have to understand is that contact by itself does not mean commitment, seriousness, or intention. Too many people hear a phone ring, see a message pop up, or notice a name in their notifications and immediately attach meaning to it. They start creating stories in their head about what it might lead to, what it could become, or how special it feels to be noticed. But contact is just contact. It is the lowest level of effort a man can give. Anyone can text. Anyone can call. Anyone can say, "Good morning," or "I miss you." That does not mean they are prepared to show up, sacrifice, or build something real with you. The mistake happens when you treat attention like a promise. When you assume that because he reached out, he must want something serious. When you start rearranging your day, your emotions, and your priorities around someone who has not shown you a single action that proves direction. A man can contact you out of boredom. He can contact you because he's lonely. He can contact you because he likes how you make him feel in the moment. None of that requires responsibility. None of that requires courage. None of that requires a future plan. You have to learn to separate words from behavior. A man can sound interested and still be going nowhere. He can be consistent with messages and still inconsistent with effort. Real intention shows up in what he does, not how often he checks in. Does he make clear plans? Does he respect your time? Does he follow through on what he says? Or does he just keep the conversation alive enough to keep you emotionally available? Another part of the mistake is giving access too quickly. Access to your time, your emotions, your vulnerability, and your energy is valuable. When you give all of that away just because someone contacted you, you teach them that it doesn't cost anything to have you. And when something costs nothing, it is rarely respected. This isn't about playing games. This is about self-worth. You don't rush to prove yourself to someone who hasn't proven themselves to you. When you respond instantly every time, explain yourself endlessly, and make yourself overly available, you are unintentionally lowering your value in his eyes. Not because you aren't valuable, but because you are showing him that he doesn't have to work to experience you. Effort creates appreciation. Time creates attachment. When those things are skipped, the connection stays shallow. A lot of people confuse excitement with progress. They feel good because someone is talking to them, but nothing is actually moving forward. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Still no clarity. Still no direction. And slowly, emotional energy is drained while hope keeps you stuck. That is why attention without intention is dangerous. It keeps you emotionally occupied while giving you nothing solid to stand on. You should never feel anxious about where you stand with someone who is serious about you. Confusion is usually a sign that the person benefits from keeping things unclear. When a man knows what he wants, his actions remove doubt. He doesn't leave you guessing. He doesn't make you question your value. He doesn't disappear and reappear without explanation. Another mistake is chasing clarity. If you have to ask someone repeatedly what they want, where things are going, or how they feel, that alone is an answer. The right man will show you through consistency, respect, and effort. You won't have to decode his behavior or read between the lines. Peace is a sign of alignment. Anxiety is a warning. When a man contacts you and senses that you have standards, patience, and self-respect, he either rises to meet them or removes himself. Both outcomes protect you. Anyone who leaves because you didn't make things easy was never meant to stay. Anyone who stays and steps up is showing you who they really are. Your job is not to impress, convince, or chase. Your job is to observe, protect your peace, and respond based on behavior, not hope. Contact is just an invitation. Commitment is the proof. Never confuse the two. When a man contacts you, one of the most common mistakes people make is believing that communication alone equals care. A message, a call, or a simple check-in can feel powerful, especially if you weren't expecting it or if you've been waiting to hear from him. It can trigger excitement, hope, and even emotional attachment. But communication without substance is empty. It does not automatically mean respect, seriousness, or long-term intention. Many people get emotionally invested far too early because they mistake consistency in talking for consistency in character. A man can talk to you every day and still not be building anything. Words are easy. They cost nothing. They require no sacrifice. Anyone can say the right thing when it suits them. Real effort shows up when there is action behind the words. It shows up in planning, in reliability, and in how he treats your time. If communication never moves beyond casual contact, then it is not progress. It is simply a way to keep your attention. Another mistake is responding from emotion instead of awareness. The moment a man contacts you, some people shift into over-giving mode. They become overly available, cancel plans, respond instantly, and start centering their day around that interaction. This sends a silent message that your life pauses for his attention. Even if that is not your intention, that is what is being communicated. Over time, this dynamic creates imbalance, where one person is investing emotionally while the other is simply enjoying access. Respect grows when boundaries are present. Boundaries are not walls, they are standards. They communicate self-worth without saying a word. When you allow someone to have unlimited access to you without earning it, you remove the opportunity for respect to develop. A man does not value something because it is hard to get, but because effort creates meaning. When effort is not required, appreciation rarely lasts. Many people also confuse emotional chemistry with compatibility. A man contacting you may make you laugh, make you feel seen, or make you feel desired. Those feelings are powerful, but they are not a foundation. Chemistry can exist without commitment. Attraction can exist without responsibility. If you allow feelings to lead while logic stays silent, you risk building attachment to someone who is not aligned with your future. Time is another overlooked factor. Time reveals intention. Someone who is serious will not waste months in uncertainty. They will move with purpose. They will make their presence known in your life, not just in your phone. If time keeps passing and nothing deepens, nothing progresses, and nothing becomes clearer, that is information. Silence in action speaks louder than noise in conversation. A dangerous pattern is accepting mixed signals and trying to interpret them in the best possible light. When behavior does not match words, believe the behavior. Confusion is not romance. Uncertainty is not mystery. It is a sign that someone is either unsure about you or unwilling to give you what you deserve. Trying to change that through patience, understanding, or over-communication only drains you. When a man contacts you and senses that you are grounded, observant, and not easily swayed by surface-level attention, it creates a natural filter. Those with no intention will fade away. Those with genuine interest will step forward. You do not lose anyone by maintaining standards. You only lose illusions. You are not required to prove your worth through availability or emotional labor. The right connection feels steady, clear, and respectful. When contact leads nowhere, let it go. Your peace is more valuable than temporary attention. One of the most common mistakes a woman makes when a man contacts her is assuming that his interest is automatic proof of intention. It is easy to feel flattered when someone reaches out, to feel wanted when their name appears on your screen, or to feel special because someone is thinking of you. But attention is not a guarantee. Just because a man contacts you does not mean he values you, does not mean he respects you, and does not mean he has any real plan for you. Far too often, people confuse communication with commitment, excitement with alignment, and interest with investment. When a man reaches out, your first responsibility is to observe, not to react. Observe the timing, the tone, the consistency, and the purpose behind the contact. Is he reaching out to genuinely connect, or is it just convenience? Is he consistent with his efforts, or does he appear only when it suits him? Does he respect your time and your boundaries, or does he expect you to drop everything for him? These are the questions that matter because they reveal character far more clearly than words ever could. A man can say, "I care," 1,000 times, but if his actions contradict that claim, his words are empty. One of the biggest traps is the urge to respond immediately. The moment your phone buzzes, you might feel the rush to reply, explain yourself, or make yourself available. That reaction, while natural, often works against you. Responding too quickly or too eagerly signals that your availability is automatic, and when something is always easy to get, it loses its value. Real respect grows when effort is required. When a man senses that he has to demonstrate intention, follow through, and respect your boundaries to earn your attention, that is when he starts to truly value you. Without that, you are essentially giving away your time, energy, and emotional space without receiving anything meaningful in return. Another mistake is assuming that emotional connection is enough to establish progress. A man may make you laugh, make you feel seen, or give you the temporary thrill of attention. But feelings alone do not create stability, clarity, or trust. Chemistry is a temporary spark. It does not indicate compatibility, responsibility, or long-term vision. Relying solely on how someone makes you feel can blind you to the reality of their actions, or lack thereof, over time. Investing emotionally in someone who has no plan for you can lead to disappointment, confusion, and heartbreak. Time is a crucial indicator of intention. Someone serious will show up consistently, make plans, follow through, and integrate themselves into your life in ways that make sense. If days, weeks, or even months pass and all you have is intermittent contact, vague promises, or inconsistent attention, that is a clear signal. Silence in effort and inconsistency in action speak louder than any words. Trying to interpret mixed signals or hoping for change often leads to wasted energy and emotional exhaustion. The right person will make their intentions obvious through effort and action, not just conversation. Many women also make the mistake of lowering their standards because of excitement or fear of losing attention. They may over-explain, cancel commitments, or rearrange their life to accommodate someone who has yet to prove their commitment. This behavior unintentionally communicates that your time, peace, and emotional energy are negotiable, which diminishes respect. Maintaining your standards is not stubbornness, it is self-respect. It communicates that you value yourself enough to require alignment, consistency, and effort before investing emotionally. It is also critical to separate attention from results. A man contacting you can be a source of entertainment, distraction, or validation. None of that is the same as progress toward a meaningful connection. You must train yourself to watch actions, not words. Pay attention to consistency, respect, follow through, and intention. When a man senses that you are grounded, observant, and unwilling to settle for surface level attention, those who are serious will rise to meet the standard, and those who are not will naturally fall away. Ultimately, the mistake is not in feeling excited or happy when someone contacts you. The mistake is in confusing that excitement with progress, that attention with investment, and that words with commitment. Protect your time, protect your energy, and demand that effort precede emotional attachment. Your peace and clarity are far more valuable than temporary attention, and the right person will never make you question your worth or your boundaries. Another critical mistake women often make when a man contacts them is assuming that the mere act of communication is a reflection of reliability or seriousness. It is easy to get caught up in the excitement, to feel noticed, wanted, or important just because someone reached out. A text message, a call, or even a casual, "How are you?" can spark emotions, create hope, and make you feel special. But the truth is, contact alone does not equal respect, commitment, or intention. Far too often, people confuse attention with validation, excitement with alignment, and interest with investment. When a man reaches out, your response should be measured and observant rather than impulsive. Observe not just the words, but the context, the consistency, and the purpose behind his message. Is he reaching out to connect genuinely, or is it only when it's convenient for him? Is he making an effort to engage meaningfully, or does he simply drop a message and disappear? Does he respect your time and your boundaries, or does he expect you to be instantly available whenever he wants? These details reveal character far more effectively than the words themselves. A man may say all the right things, but if his behavior doesn't back up those words, the attention he gives is meaningless. One of the most common pitfalls is responding too quickly or too eagerly. Many women feel an emotional rush when they see a message from someone they are interested in and feel compelled to reply immediately. They overexplain, they adjust their schedules, they make themselves available, often at the expense of their own priorities. While understandable, this behavior unintentionally communicates that your time and energy are easy to access and therefore easy to take for granted. Respect and appreciation grow when effort is required. If someone has to show intention, follow through, and work for your attention, that is when real value is created. Without that, you are essentially offering emotional labor for free without receiving anything of substance in return. Emotional responses also play a role in this mistake. When a man contacts you, it's natural to feel excited or flattered, but it is important not to let those feelings drive your decisions. Emotional attachment can develop quickly when you respond to attention with availability, and it can cloud judgment. A man might make you feel special, seen, or desired, but feelings alone do not indicate stability, compatibility, or commitment. Chemistry and excitement are fleeting. They do not reflect long-term reliability or responsibility. Allowing emotion to dictate your responses can result in investing in someone who is not prepared to invest in you. Time is one of the clearest indicators of intention. Someone serious will show up consistently, make concrete plans, and follow through with actions that align with their words. If contact continues without meaningful progression, if promises remain vague and actions inconsistent, that is a clear signal of where you stand. Silence in effort and inconsistency in behavior speak louder than any words ever could. Trying to interpret mixed signals or hoping for change usually leads to emotional exhaustion, disappointment, and wasted energy. The right person will show their intentions through clarity, reliability, and tangible effort, not just through intermittent attention. Another danger is compromising standards out of excitement, fear of losing attention, or desire for connection. Some women overextend themselves, overexplain, or rearrange their lives to accommodate someone who has yet to demonstrate real commitment. This behavior sends a subtle message that your time, attention, and emotional energy are negotiable. When you lower your standards to match someone else's pace, you lose the power of your presence and diminish respect. Maintaining your boundaries is not rigidity. It is self-respect. It signals that your peace, your time, and your emotional energy are valuable and not to be taken for granted. It is also essential to distinguish attention from results. A man contacting you can provide temporary excitement, validation, or distraction, but none of that guarantees a meaningful relationship. You must focus on actions rather than words, consistency rather than charm, and effort rather than occasional attention. Those who are serious will rise to meet your standards. Those who are not will naturally fall away. Protecting your time, energy, and peace ensures that you invest in someone whose intentions align with your needs. Ultimately, the mistake is not in feeling flattered or excited when a man contacts you. The mistake lies in equating attention with progress, words with commitment, and availability with value. Protect your emotional space, respond based on behavior and intention, and demand effort before attachment. Your clarity, your standards, and your peace are far more valuable than temporary attention, and the right person will always respect that without hesitation. One of the most critical mistakes a woman can make when a man contacts her is assuming that his outreach automatically indicates genuine interest or seriousness. A text, a call, or even a simple message can feel exciting, validating, and flattering, especially if it comes from someone you like or have been thinking about. That immediate rush of attention can create emotional attachment, spark hope, and make you feel important. But it's essential to recognize that attention alone does not equal commitment, respect, or intention. Many women make the error of confusing momentary excitement with meaningful progress, allowing themselves to invest emotionally before a man has proven his worth. The first thing to understand is that words are cheap and anyone can talk. A man can say all the right things, make you feel special, or appear interested without actually taking responsibility or showing dedication. It is very easy to send a message, compliment someone, or engage in flirtatious conversation. That requires no real effort, no sacrifice, and no accountability. Real value is demonstrated through consistent actions, follow through, and the ability to integrate intentions into your life. If a man is reaching out, but there is no direction, no plan, or no concrete effort behind his words, then his communication is not a sign of serious interest. It is just a form of distraction or temporary validation. One of the most common pitfalls is responding too quickly or eagerly. Many women feel a natural urge to reply immediately, explain themselves, or rearrange their day to accommodate the person contacting them. This behavior can unintentionally signal that your time, your attention, and your emotional energy are easy to access. When availability is often dramatic, respect often effort creates appreciation. And when someone has to work to earn your time and emotional investment, they begin to value it. Without that dynamic, attention is given freely, but meaningful connection never develops. Protecting your energy and maintaining boundaries is not playing games. It is self-respect and a way to ensure that the people you allow into your life are serious about you. Another common mistake is letting excitement and emotional response override rational observation. Feeling good when someone contacts you can be intoxicating, but emotional attachment without clarity can blind you to reality. A man can make you laugh, feel wanted, or feel seen, and those feelings can trick you into thinking the connection is deeper than it actually is. Chemistry and attraction can exist independently of responsibility, character, or long-term vision. It is crucial to focus on behavior rather than emotion and consistency rather than charm. Emotional investment should follow evidence of effort and intention, not precede it. Time is one of the clearest indicators of a man's intentions. Someone serious will show up consistently, make clear plans, and follow through with actions that align with what they say. If contact continues without tangible progression, if promises remain vague, or if behavior is inconsistent, that is a warning sign. Silence in action is louder than words. Trying to interpret mixed signals or hoping for change can lead to emotional exhaustion, disappointment, and wasted energy. Real intention is visible, measurable, and consistent. Observing this allows you to protect yourself from investing in someone who is not aligned with your values or goals. Many women also make the mistake of lowering their standards because of excitement, fear of losing attention, or a desire for connection. They over-explain themselves, make themselves overly available, or compromise their boundaries to accommodate someone who has not demonstrated real commitment. This behavior communicates that your time, energy, and emotional space are negotiable, which diminishes respect. Maintaining your standards is not stubbornness. It is self-respect. It ensures that the people who remain in your life are those who are genuinely serious and willing to earn your attention. Finally, it is crucial to distinguish attention from action. A man contacting you can be entertaining, flattering, or temporarily validating, but it does not guarantee a meaningful connection. Focus on what he does, not just what he says. Observe consistency, reliability, effort, and intention. Those who are serious will rise to meet your standards, and those who are not will fall away. Protecting your peace, your time, and your emotional energy allows you to invest only in those who are worthy, ensuring that your heart and attention are reserved for someone whose intentions match your value. Your excitement or flattery is natural, but never confuse attention with progress. Demand effort before emotional attachment, and never compromise your boundaries for temporary validation. The right person will always show respect, consistency, and intention without hesitation. Another major mistake women often make when a man contacts them is assuming that repeated communication automatically signifies seriousness, commitment, or respect. It is easy to feel flattered when someone reaches out, to feel noticed when a name appears on your screen, or to feel special because they are thinking of you. That initial excitement can be intoxicating and can easily lead to emotional attachment. However, attention alone does not indicate intention. Many women confuse consistent contact with genuine interest, allowing themselves to invest emotionally before there is any evidence of real effort or alignment with their values. Understanding this distinction is crucial to protecting your peace, your time, and your emotional well-being. One of the biggest pitfalls is responding too quickly or showing availability too soon. It is natural to feel excited when a man contacts you, and it is easy to fall into the habit of replying immediately, over-explaining, or rearranging your schedule to accommodate him. While these reactions may feel harmless, they often signal that your attention, time, and energy are easily accessible. When access is effortless, respect tends to diminish. Real value and appreciation come from effort, and the more a man has to work to earn your attention, the more he will value it. By maintaining boundaries and protecting your time, you create a framework in which effort and intention are necessary, ensuring that the person reaching out is serious and worthy of your energy. Another mistake is allowing emotional responses to cloud judgment. Feeling happy, excited, or flattered when someone contacts you is natural, but emotions alone should never dictate how you respond or how invested you become. A man may say the right words, make you feel good, or give you attention, but without consistent actions, none of this indicates reliability or long-term intention. Chemistry and attraction are temporary. They do not guarantee responsibility, compatibility, or alignment with your life goals. Emotional attachment should follow evidence of consistent effort, not precede it. If emotions take the lead without clear actions backing them up, it can result in disappointment, confusion, and unnecessary heartache. Time is a critical indicator of a man's intentions. Someone who is genuinely serious will show up consistently, make plans, and follow through with their words through measurable actions. If days or weeks pass and there is no clear progression, vague promises persist, or actions are inconsistent, that is a warning sign. Silence in effort speaks louder than words, and mixed signals are not a challenge to solve, they are information. When a man's actions do not match his words, it is not your job to interpret or rationalize them. Observing his behavior clearly allows you to protect yourself from investing emotionally in someone who is not prepared to commit. Many women also make the mistake of lowering their standards out of excitement, fear of losing attention, or a desire for connection. They overextend themselves, make themselves readily available, or compromise personal boundaries to accommodate someone who has yet to demonstrate consistent effort or seriousness. This behavior unintentionally communicates that your time, attention, and energy are negotiable. Maintaining your standards is not rigidity, It is self-respect. Your boundaries set the tone for how others treat you, and they naturally filter out anyone who is not serious about being part of your life in a meaningful way. It is essential to distinguish attention from action. A man contacting you can be flattering, entertaining, or temporarily validating, but none of that equates to a meaningful connection. You must focus on his behavior, consistency, effort, and intention rather than the surface level attention he gives. Those who are serious will rise to meet your standards and show commitment through tangible actions. Those who are not serious will fade away, revealing their true intentions. Protecting your peace, time, and emotional energy ensures that your investment goes to someone who respects and values you as much as you deserve. The mistake is not in feeling flattered or excited when someone reaches out. The mistake is in equating attention with progress, words with commitment, and availability with value. Demand effort before attachment, focus on actions over words, and never compromise your boundaries for temporary validation. The right person will always demonstrate respect, consistency, and intention, and your clarity and self-respect will naturally attract those who are genuinely worthy of your time and energy.